Well, we'll have to leave John on the road to hell for a while until we see him again in the second half. That was a great opening set, John. Thank you very much. And our next featured poet, Ardella Jones, quite a checkered career. She was a regular correspondent for the NME. She won the Catherine Pakenham Award for Journalism. She switched to writing comedy, including scripts for the cult 3D animation Bunny Maloney. Sorry, I nearly said Buddy Maloney. That would be. And then she was half of a double act called Ken and Ard, and she won the New Names Award at the Edinburgh Fringe. As a solo stand-up, she toured the circuit from up the creek to Jongleurs. She's now performing as a poet. She writes crime fiction, and she runs a creative writing workshop in Tooting called Chalk the Sun. In fact, some years ago, Ardella was a writing tutor for me when she was working for the public authority there, basically in South London. So I've known her for many years. And she adds that if you need to know these details, her hobby is buying shoes. Her favourite food is expensive. Her poetry is inspired by existentialism and loft conversions, the English novel, budget airlines and goldfish. Some or all of that I've told you now may be true, but certainly the truth is we have Ardella Jones back at Dodo Modern Poets. Very welcome to Ardella.
I love the way Patrick implies I've taught him everything he knows. And John, this remembering your first kiss, I'm still trying to figure that one out. Is there an app or something you can get? A major computer program, perhaps. Forgive me if I do any stumbles or anything or yawn today, but I just came back on Wednesday about 4 o'clock in the morning, thanks to taking a budget airline. So I'm going to start my set, a little poem dedicated to these cheap airlines. You know, you start off with getting a $12.99 return flight and the time that you've got priority boarding, been allowed to take a bag, been taxed and paid to choose your seat. It comes to £187.50. So this is called It Ain't Easy. Emergency exits are to our left and right, said the stewardess on our budget flight. She was not smiling, slim and fair, like the charming girls on British Air, nor was she ebony-eyed, exotic and chic, like the veiled ladies on Air Afrique. No, she was lumpy, grumpy, rather dumpy, her uniform crimply and frumpy, ill-tempered, clumsy, too well-fed. Yes, we were flying from Stansted. The steward too was no male model, spotty, plump, inclined to waddle. They'd never get to fly Pan Am, Virgin Cafe or anything glam. They would forever be waiters in the skies, defrosting pizzas, nuking pies. We ordered coffee and tea. The steward tipped it over me. That's £5.50 if you please, he said as he wiped it off my knees. The hostess come round duty free, but I got up to have a wee. Make the most of it, she called to me. From next week it's 50p. The seats were cramped and very hard. The sandwiches were made of card. They overcharged me for my fags, surcharged my luggage, then lost my bags. It really makes you want to weep, but it's what you get for travelling cheap. What you pay is for is what you get. There's nothing easy about EasyJet. Or Ryanair. I've got a short poem next, which is also really about misrepresentation. Because all our budget airlines do present themselves and advertise a marvellous exotic travel experience. And this poem is about how everything these days, however technological and corporate, is actually sold to us as eco-friendly, homesy folksy, homemade, handcrafted, and it's not. So this is called Blackberries and Apple Mac. Blackberries and Apple Mac sounds like a tasty Scottish snack. Instead, they are another way to steal your time and make you pay, enslave you to technology, push porn and mediocrity, when all you really want to see is something scrummy for your tea. Let's start eyes at this point. I'd like to do, I think, one of the first poems I wrote, actually, which when Patrick started encouraging me to go from the train wreck of my comedy career to writing some poetry. And lovely audiences like you who don't shout, show us your tits or throw things. Far kinder on the poetry circuit. So I wrote this poem about the little butcher's boy in the halal shop in Tooting, who since then has kind of morphed into the Afghan entrepreneur with a chain of shops. But at the time when I was inspired by this, he was extremely shy and trying to sort of balance between two cultures. He got in fearful scrapes, like going out drinking vodka with Polish boys and getting arrested, having no passport, being locked in a police station, jumping out of the window in a bid to escape, and landing on a policeman who was outside having a cigarette. Then on his way to the detention centre, jumping out of the police van with some African boys. Unfortunately for him, the African boys were all Kenyans, and they took off a sort of 4-minute mile. They got away clear, and poor Farid and Shahabzi on his little short Afghan legs was back in the Arswood detention centre. So all this inspired me to write a poem about Faridin, and it's called Hello Love, Salam. The Afghani butcher's boy has eyes of shyest green. They slither from bold to coy, leave little left unseen. He comes from the wild borders, mountainous, cool, remote, where Taliban give orders, Quran is learnt by rote. School is just some old imam sitting beneath a tree. Women are both worthless mules and endless fantasies. The UN drops its food aid, the Allies only bombs. He escapes from an air raid, finds everybody gone. So now he's here in Tooting, the Afghan butcher's boy, safe from bombing and shooting, his sharp knife just a toy. Expert, he chops, cuts, slices through sheep and cows and goats. Halal, free from vices, blood drained through slitted throats. He speaks Pashto and Farsi, writes numbers but not words. He's learnt to speak in Cockney to Bosnians and Kurds. Jamaicans, Nigerians he greets with Wagwan. Iraqis and Algerians, Assadu Malakan. He cuts beef koti and chicken chinga chinga, leaves the lamb diggy diggy, chops gosh chops, when you're ready. He sports a diamond earring, hair gel, a mobile phone. He says it cool and ting. You want that on the bone? Potato head he calls his mate, that's aloo head to you. My English, she's not very great, he shrugs, but what to do? While women wait inside the shop, he still comes over shy. His hands chop non-stop through bellies, breasts and thigh. Sometimes his green eyes linger, can't help but go astray. He's almost lost a finger, but still he chops away. Tooting's a confusing mix, blood, money, lust and joy, and women with alluring tricks to tempt an Afghan boy. Now I'm still on the subject of male confusion here, but this is the homegrown variety. This is when you men do something very bad and try and blame it on confusion. It only works the other way round, ladies. Trust me, no man has ever got confused in a travel agent and blown his life savings buying you a luxury round-the-world trip to Honolulu. No, they always do something absolutely despicable, and then they fall on their knees, look all pathetic, and try and stick their tongue in your navel. I really don't know why they do that, because it only makes you want to wee. That struck a bell there, Joe, didn't it? So this is Ode to Confused Men, subtitled, I'll make it up to you, babes. Darling, I wish you would relent. I know I'm a complete shit, but it was an accident. Mind you, she did look pretty fit and I'd had a lot to drink, but I was so confused, I really didn't think. I could have just refused, but my self-control slipped. I suppose I couldn't resist her. Or then again, perhaps I tripped and found my dick inside your sister. I am also available for children's party. Now, I don't want the men in the audience to feel that they're being got at this afternoon. So I've done something especially for you. It's about football. No stereotyping here. Now, I thought about this when I was in a pub in Tooting, in the castle, with some of my students. And there was the final of the UEFA Cup being played out on the big screen. 100 men jumped up and down shouting at points. And I said to my group, I'm going to go over and ask them to turn that TV down a bit so we can read our poetry. And the only chap with us sort of went white. And you can see him thinking, I'll never be able to have a pint in Tooting again. He went, oh, please don't do that. And it got me thinking, though, about what would happen if in our society poetry and football change places in our hierarchy of cultural values. So this is called The Beautiful Game. I think it all started when Chelsea won the cup. Football's domination was well and truly up. We all got bored and started reading books. We had no time for mocking Brooking or Garth Crooks. People started going to read poems in the park, declaiming lyrical ballads until it got quite dark. Sunday morning the kids all went to Poets Club, and after the dads all recited Wordsworth in the pub. Midweek recitals were performed beneath floodlights, and after everyone rushed home to catch the edited highlights. Then someone had the idea of starting a Premier League, and all at once our art was mild in lust and greed. Dodo put in a big bid for a Brazilian balladeer, and scouts scoured open mics for talent far and near. Then a budding bard was caught stoned in his Lamborghini, and Andrew Motion began posing with a bird in a bikini. The Byron boys were arrested for a nasty sexual assault. If they hadn't posted it on YouTube, they'd never have got caught. Carol-Ann Duffy drew and had a punch-up with Jackie Kay, and Pam Ayres demanded a 5-figure rise in pay. The BNP threw bananas at Benjamin Zephaniah, while drunken Yates fans set Enniskillen all on fire. Seamus Heaney's new epic missed a crucial penalty, and John Cooper Clarke's punk performance was banned from poesy. The Poetry Quarterly was brought up by Malaysian sharks. Reading groups were all sold off to Russian oligarchs. Chairs of poetry were flogged to Tom, Dick and Harry, while fans chanted, Ruth Padell takes it up the Gary. Thus poetry became a sordid money-making scam with artistic integrity and empty hollow sham. All our bards were corrupted by luxury and fame. So just remember, it's not the winning, it's the playing of the game. That's all from me now, and I do have to say, look out for the Maserati parked outside with the Ukrainian supermodel in it, because it's Patrick. I'll see you later. Thank
You must introduce me. Okay, thanks to Ardella Jones, and Ardella will be back in the second half. A bit of applause for Ardella. Yeah.